your work experience and your experience out there in the professional world helped you to realize, wow, we've got to do a better job at preparing a workforce. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes, sir. We sure do.
Okay. All right. Very good. So let's continue. So in respect to that, how important are teachers? I mean, we're talking about here at Noah Webster, we talk about that not just from the public perspective, but the private perspective, all perspectives, because it's about all of education. How important are teachers?
Well, teachers are probably the most important because they are the implementers. They are the ones who are in the classroom or in the learning environment, I should say, with the students, whether it be one student, 10 students, or 50 students. And so their ability to utilize methods, techniques, and tools to help students or children learn is very critical. And teachers need to remember that they are the link between children learning and children being able to be successful. Because if they're not working with the children, and remember, all children are individuals. And that's, I think, one thing that teachers need to be more aware of. We don't need to have just this one path for all. I talk about this, one size fits all is really just very detrimental to student learning,
Mhm.
because we are individuals. We have our own skills, our talents, our interests, and things like that. And so teachers need to be more aware in the classroom. They need to allow children to be more creative. Now, I understand you want to manage the classroom, but you don't manage it in a manner that stifles children's curiosity and creativity. You want them to be able to express and to be able to think. And as they go through the K-12 process, once they get into high school, you want them to be able to discuss and debate and to challenge each other with regards to the different perspectives. And by the time they get into high school, they've got a little bit of life experience. So that brings some element of learning into the classroom as well.
Let me just a little follow-up question there. So you're talking about the importance of teachers, understanding the individual dynamics of the student, and kind of each one has to be dealt with individually. Of course, totally support that. Totally agree with that. So let me ask you this. Do you think most teachers understand that? And is it a teacher issue, or is it a systems issue that tends to force teachers? I'm asking you, put your teacher hat on in your own experience working with teachers and in that space. Is it a system process that kind of forces teachers to, instead of working with students individually, kind of, we got to make sure everybody gets to certain points, and so it kind of cuts out a lot of that ability to engage and be creative and stuff, and they kind of a forced timeline and a forced management. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think it's actually an element from both perspectives. Teachers can be an issue, but the system definitely is an issue, because the system over time has become a one size fits all. There was a point in time, probably about, I'll say, a good 40 years ago, where we got on this path of every child needs to go to college. And
Mhm.
so all curriculum was focused more on uh, promoting and propelling children to do that. Well, not
Mhm.
all children are college material. They all don't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to college after high school. I went later on in life, and so therefore, you can't force children to do something and expect them to be successful if they're not passionate about it, if their heart isn't in it, if they don't have the right mindset or attitude or skills or talents. So
Mhm.
there again, it's a failure with regards to the system, but as well as with the teachers. And one of the things I want to interject here is that teachers, the education curriculum at the higher ed level, college level, almost all teaching programs are a minor. They're not a major. for graduation. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you identify a program as a minor versus a major at the college level, my interpretation is that you aren't valuing that skill set, I guess, as much as you are a major. And so, if we're going to continue to have education departments and education programs at the university level as minors, then you're not really, to me, that's a message that you're not valuing education.